After watching the video of the game, it kind of played out as we watched it the way we thought it did live. The guys played hard from start to finish, a lot of energy. Um, you don't win games, I think, just on Saturdays. Is what you do the week before. And we had an excellent week of practice. And offensively, whenever you can score that many points, 55 points, got a good chance to win. It's kind of simple as that. Reggie Corbin was outstanding. Whenever you're the Big Ten player of the game, player of the week, it kind of says an awful lot with all the good offensive players, in our conference. In order for that to happen, the offensive line has to do a great job. They did. Of course, led by Nick Algretti. Nick's last, and our seniors, their last dad's day was pretty special. Special really to see the fathers, to walk over with their sons, to enjoy the pregame activities a little bit, and that pressure of knowing your dad's there watching, that can motivate you. But offensive line played well, but it starts with the quarterback too. A.J. Bush, fought his way through. A.J. would tell you he liked to have a play back. Beyond that, running the ball, of course, throwing it, Ricky Smalling. So we could talk the rest of the day about what we're able to do offensively. That's what it's supposed to look like. Coach Smith and the rest of the offensive staff did a great job. Defensively, the guys really showed up. A lot of improvement. Now, that's not, we needed to, but guys took it to heart what happened the week before, and up front, set the tempo, all of them. Linebackers, I think, played outstanding ball in the secondary when we're called upon. Played very good football also. It's disappointing when you give up a couple of big plays at the end of the game, but that's not who we are. We'll keep working on that. Special teams, of course, Chase did a good job. Kickoff team also. Had a few injuries, of course, Kenyon Jackson. Whenever you can't finish a game, there's concern. We'll continue to evaluate him. But Minnesota had been playing pretty good football, and so it's good to get that second Big Ten win. But it's on now to a Nebraska team that's been playing very good football as of late. Played outstanding game against Ohio State. We know what's at stake. Whenever you go on the road, that's tough duty, especially in an environment like that. But we're ready for it. Take your question.
Have you talked to the defensive coordinator yet? See how he's being?
Yeah, I know him fairly well, and we're on the same page on a lot of things. When guys come to work like that, I just know the defensive coordinator had a blast in his role Saturday. That's for sure.
Is there any chance he would be the defensive coordinator beyond this year?
Well, I tell you, how we do it in football, Bob, is we take it day by day and play by play. So that's what we're doing. I plan on being in the same role this week, starting tomorrow.
Lovie, the players said you came to them and asked what they'd like to do. Why was that important to you?
Well, they're invested. I mean, we're in this together. I mean, that's how, that's how you do it. Again, when you're in this together, they should know exactly what I'm going to call in every situation pretty much. We have some options each time, but if something happens where we don't get a call in, especially with the linebackers, their group, they should know what we want in certain situations. And also when you talk to players like that, you see what they like. People tend to play better, something better with what you like. You must have been talking to the linebackers, and probably their blitz is probably what they talked about. Yeah, you ask a linebacker, he'll want to blitz each snap. But no, the guys took to heart the game plan and executed it well.
Does that maybe just create more ownership with the players when you've asked them what they want to do and how they feel like they want to go out and do that?
Yes, but guys, we didn't just start playing defense this week. We've been involved. They've been involved. This week we executed a lot better. It's not like we started from scratch this past week. Guys locked in better. We did a better job team together, we figured out how to play a little bit better defense.
Coach, after watching film, what did Tony Adams do at safety on Saturday?
Well, with what we ask our safety to do, he's when you say free safety, if things go wrong up front, he's our last big front of defense from the goal line. And Tony did an excellent job with that. He'll be called upon, of course, to help out on the pass, especially anything deep. He did a good job with that. There's one play he would tell you next time he's going to make that interception down in the end zone. But he was called upon, the free safety position was called upon to make a lot of tackles. And Tony did an excellent job of that. Sack, tackle for loss, great open field tackles. We're different having a player like him back in the back.
What did you think of the secondary's overall performance and run support against Minnesota?
I thought, whether we talk D-line, linebackers, or secondary, I thought everybody, all three groups showed up. Secondary is a big part of that. It's good getting Nate Hobbs back. With what we would like to be, with how we would like to play, we thought we saw that more times than we have in a while.
Lovie, I know he needs to get his hands away from face masks, but what did you see from Calvin Avery?
I would have started the conversation that way. Calvin needs to eliminate that, but he's playing hard. Those kind of things happen, though. I get upset when a guy jumps offside or after play, if you get some type of penalty after that. When you're in between like that, when you're trying to go to an area, sometimes your aim may be a little off. So we don't have any major complaints about that. Calvin has gotten better and better each week. We'll need him to continue to take some steps.
Coach, was your schedule much different last week because of your new bigger role?
No, I mean we work early to late. Your role can change during that time frame. Yeah, it changed a little bit, a lot, but there was time. There was time to do everything though. So that's as a head football coach, I guess we're supposed to say that it's 24/7. We got stuff we have to do, but there's time to rearrange things, and that's what we were able to do last week.
Did you enjoy that part of it? Because you've done this for
Absolutely, absolutely. Had a blast. Defensive staff did a great job, like our entire staff did. But I'm as I describe our coaching staff, we have a bunch of stern teachers. Is what I like to think that I'm a teacher also. And whenever you get a chance to be more involved teaching young people, who wouldn't like that?
What did you think of the pass rush on Saturday?
It was good at times when it needed to be. We did some good things Saturday. There's a lot of improvement we'll still need to make. But I thought their quarterback had to move around. The pass rush was a lot better. Absolutely.
After having a couple days to digest those two defensive possessions after that fumble was called back, are you any more impressed with it today than you were on Saturday?
Yes, a good point. That was a big time in our game. Of course, I disagree with the call, 100%. But when it did happen, we have to keep playing, and our guys didn't let that stop them. They had momentum. We got it back to keep them to a field goal. Of course, was big during that time. I thought they handled it well. But sometimes when there's something bad happens to you, you see something really good too. Our crowd has been great each week. I thought our home crowd was outstanding. We're talking about offense, defense. Offense good, defense played well. The crowd was outstanding. They let the officials and everybody else know that don't do that to our football team. That's a bad call against our team, and we heard it, and the opponent heard it. So I guess something really positive kind of came from that a little bit. Sometimes you don't know how many people really are just really behind you that really kind of believe, and they let it known then.
Has the Big Ten given you any further explanation?
Absolutely. We talked to the Big Ten. Again, guys, no call ever determines the outcome of a game. We have disagreements from week to week. I think most of us out there kind of saw it a certain way, and we still see it that way.
been maybe more of a conversation on what a catch is. It seems like both the NFL and college that there's some more of a gray area than there ever used to be.
Well, for some, I don't see it being that great to me. If you have possession, you take a couple steps, and maybe 3 steps, to me that's a catch. If you're going on the sideline, you get one, you get a foot in, drag it, that's a catch. You don't have to necessarily bring the ball into your body for it to be a catch if you have possession. So I don't know how, we'll be debating a lot of things. We can debate whether it's holding or not each play. Pass interference, you can debate that. Some things are a little bit clearer for me. A catch is pretty clear to me.
AJ's going back to place he played. Is that any concern for you, or is it something you look forward to?
I'm sure AJ, that probably never has crossed his mind. He's going back. I think it's always, it's a special time we get a chance to go back to a place that you've considered home. We have history, where you have history. So, there's a little bit of added incentive, I'm sure. But for AJ is coming off an excellent football game played, knowing that we as a football team getting ready to go into the 4th quarter of our season. Last week we talked about we're at the end of the 3rd quarter, and we're behind, getting ready to go into the 4th quarter where games are really won and lost. And that's where we are with our season. I think AJ is focused on that as much as anything, of putting, so I saw him coming over here, back to back, putting 2 great games back to back together. I think that focus is more on that.
How much of Reggie Corbin's success would you attribute to the offensive line?
I think, as Reggie would tell you himself, as he was interviewed right after the game, he wanted to talk about his offensive line. He knows. Offensive line, if you talk to them, I'm going to talk about Reggie. It takes both. Both did an excellent job. But offensive line knows that if they get Reggie in the open field and he's in a one-on-one situation, he needs to make someone miss. He can do that quite often.
How unique is that ability of his?
I think that's what we're all looking for, a running back or a skill guy to get his hands in on the ball, with the ball in his hand, in open field, and in a one-on-one situation with the defender. We'll take that as often as possible.
How is AJ's blocking?
Well, I think that's a good thing if you see the quarterback running out in front like that. Whatever it takes. I mean, AJ, as you can see, has a little bit of size. We want to protect him as much as possible, but quarterback needs to do whatever it takes that play after play, and that's what he's doing.
What's it say about his leadership that he's basically escorting Reggie down the field on that?
I think that's who he is. I think who a person is, you see that each play. And, he's not a guy that's thinking about sliding an awful lot. And, again, he's a big man. And the guys need to see their lead out front like that. That's what leaders do, right? They lead the way. He's been doing that quite often.
Lovie, how impressed were you with what Rod did on Saturday?
There's a lot of Rod. Yeah, I'm just messing with you here. But just not Saturday. That's what Rod has been doing. Sometimes the results, say something that everybody notices, but that's what Rod and our offensive staff has been doing throughout. We have a plan. We have a system that we believe in. Players are executing it, and you can get some positive results when that happens.
Well, Nebraska doesn't have a lot of wins, but offensively, what Scott's doing
Yeah.
with a really
Yes.
talented young quarterback. What have you noticed on them?
Yes, well, of course, Scott Frost is an excellent coach. Nebraska is one of those traditional programs where you expect a certain type of play, certain type of athletes, especially a certain type of skill. You can say the same thing for linemen too. Great, as I said earlier, great environment to play in. They've had a lot of great quarterbacks. Scott, of course, Scott Frost being one to come through there. Martinez is another one. He's a freshman, but he can throw the ball. He's athletic. He can beat you with his feet. So, in our offense of things we talk about, we're trying to do is what will be their attack against us. Be a big challenge for our defense this week. Can't wait to get a chance to compete that way.
What have they been doing different that's allowed them to win a couple games and then play with Ohio State last
I don't know. I think sometimes, when you're building, it takes a while. It's not a finished product right away. And there's a process you have to go through. And I think that's that's what they have gone through. But as you watch their play, they've gotten better and better. And since I think they'll probably say the same thing. Since probably about the Purdue game, second half, the level has really picked up quite a bit, where they've had a chance to win all of these last games. So that's what we're seeing. And we're saying the same thing about our program. You get to a point where, boom, you get there where you can really see yourself being able to take off. And we love being, 3 touchdown underdogs going into an environment like that.
Coach, how important was Dele Harding coming back and playing into that linebacker crew?
Very important. Dele can do a couple things for us. I thought his plays, he got about 25 plays. I thought he played well. But, of course, Dale, Sean Phillips, and Jake have manned those positions. But we feel like we can win with a player, we want to play more than just the guys that start the game. And we feel like, of course, Dele Harding would normally be a starting linebacker for us in a traditional defense with a traditional offense we're going against. But nowadays, with the 3 receiver sets, your base defensive package doesn't get a chance to be played often. So we're finding ways to try to get him on the field, and he's doing a good job.
Isaiah Gay was another one that had more opportunity. What do you see
Yes.
from him?
Well, we saw him earn some more opportunities in practice, first off. And I thought that you talk about some of the pass rush. I thought at times he gave us some good play with it. Isaiah's played some good football for us around here. We'll need him to continue to play that type of consistent ball.
You mentioned the environment in Nebraska. How do you get your guys ready for that? It can be pretty raucous.
Yeah, but I think we'll be okay. We have crowd noise and things like that, so it can. But I think the guys realize eventually, the ball is snapped, same field and all that, and when you're expecting it, I just feel like we'll be okay.
Well, you doubled your win total from a year ago.
Thanks for reminding me.
What does that mean inside your program and outside your program?
Well, records aside, we're trending in the right direction. We've been that way for a while. It's good to get a win to confirm that for the people on the outside. But and I guess we need that. We want to win every football game, but we're getting better. As I talk about the process, that's what we're going through, and eventually you get over the hump and you start winning consistently. That's what we're going to do. Try not to look in the past too much. It's just about the future for us, and the future is very bright. Thank you.